rock and roll.
Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I am your host, the amazing Super Chris Mallard. Thank you for joining me today. It is Friday, the day of fries, I guess, as you will. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk about a few things. One of the things we're going to talk about is the topic of the show, which is like, whose God is more powerful? That's going to be fun. I dig it. That's good stuff. But we've got other things to catch up on. It's going to be fun. We'll be back in just a minute, my friends, and we will kick this show off. Good morning, everyone. Go. Why you make me push the button so many times? Why are you not worky? 1,000 apologies, my friend. Oh yeah. All right. So hold on.
Life is complicated. These are trying times. There are many questions that need answering. Want to know what's going to help? Atheism. With atheism, you'll get rid of dogma, superstitions, and toxic thought patterns that are holding you back. You can drive while taking atheism, as well as use heavy machinery. In fact, drinking alcohol, fornicating, and Sunday mornings are far more enjoyable with atheism. However, there are side effects. Some evangelicals and fundamentalists will think you are possessed by the devil. But you don't have to worry, because you know the devil isn't real. Just like God. Wake up to your life. Believe in yourself. Believe in science. Atheism.
All right, we are back. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you've had a great week so far. Let me bring up Ryan. Good morning, Ryan. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I want fries. You said fries, so now I'm expecting that I'm going to get fries today.
That's on my end. Now I can hear you. Can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Look at me hearing you. All right, good morning. Well, thank you for joining me. How are you doing? You got a really cool look going on this morning.
Oh, do I?
Fantastic. Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're almost matching, in some kind of way, because we got similar colors on.
We're both kind of loud in a mauve purple kind of way. Is mauve the right color? Mm-hmm. Is mauve the right color?
You're definitely kind of like a...
You think?
Well, I don't know. You're like a lilac-y.
Oh, that's it. Lilac-y. That's it. Yeah. So, good morning, Ryan. Did you have a good week?
So far, I've had a good week. I can't really complain. Personally, my life is, great.
You're blessed.
The world outside is crazy.
I'm just saying, you're blessed. Yes, I understand. Oh, yeah. Well, the world outside is crazy. Yeah. Well, I guess that's good to hear. It's like being in the eye of the storm in a way, isn't it?
Feels like it.
It's weird to be so involved and so helpless. I can do nothing. I have neither the skills nor the means to do anything about the problem. The only thing I have is a voice, and I share it here on the show as best I can.
Yeah.
It's a tiny voice, but it's here. Hey, did you notice Crispin Slit was here? I noticed Crispin Slit was here too. I saw that. Crispin Slit. Marsha Brew's here. Good morning. I saw Crispin Slit try to get other people. Come on, suckers. Let's go watch this show. Thank you for joining us this morning, Crispin. Henrim is here. Bonjour, family. Thank you for joining us. Scott is here. Wow, a lot of folks are kicking in the door early this morning. Rainbow Ash. Theoretically, that's incorrect. Oh, is something just typed in the first. Yeah, I know. It's still learning. I don't know how to make it do that. But I want to tell you about this bot. This bot, you're supposed to be able to tell it, listen, recognize these people and don't shout them out every day. And I've done that. I've done that in several different ways. I've blessed it. I've prayed over it. I've used the Jedi mind trick on this damn thing. And yet it's still every day when we all come in, it even says hello to itself. It's like, somebody else like Crispin Slit, good morning. And then, the bot will go, Crispin Slit just rocked into the chat. And then the bot will go, hey, look, there's the bot just walked in the chat. How you dumb chat? Anyway, it gets the job done. I guess it keeps people interesting. Let's see. Atheist mechanic, I have neither the crayons or the patience to explain it to you. I love that quote. That's good. That's good stuff. It is. It has been an interesting week. And like you say, it's It's difficult. But we here on the show, we're trying to keep it a little light. We don't not discuss those things. I ain't scared. However, we do want to kind of focus on keeping it kind of a nice, light place to go. Ooh, Detroit Atheist Queen just rocked in the door. Good morning, Kelly. We got a lot of Kellys. Theoretically is here. Oh, yeah. Just remove the you typed the first words this week. We're all, yeah. You know, that's kind of true. No, we have a lot of new faces. Our show has been growing a lot. We've been, I'm glad we've had some new faces. Thanks to the call in. Now, let me turn that on just in case somebody decides to, I hadn't got it up yet because, well, actually, before we get the phone lines going, let's not do that just yet. Let's visitate for a moment, Miss Ryan, because, normally we do Sci-Fi Friday, and we're not going to do Sci-Fi Friday. We're not going to sit here all day and talk about sci-fi, but we are going to talk about it for a few minutes. Ryan, how's it going with your Deep Space Nine experience? How are you feeling?
Really good. I'm enjoying it. I'm really getting into Kira and Jadzia. I'm really starting to like them. The last episode we watched last night was season 6, episode 9. It's called Statistical Probabilities, when Bashir had the other bioengineered people with him on Deep Space Nine, and he was trying to help them a little bit, and they ended up like predicting the war and outcomes with the Dominion and stuff. Yeah, that's very interesting.
That is one of my favorite episodes. I do enjoy that. Now, in the next episode, when you see those characters will come back, and when they do come back, the phrase "that's a stupid question" will come up. Okay. You'll hear it. That's a stupid question. And it won't be fun. It'll be funny. It won't be as insulting as you might think. I mean, it'll be funny. Just trust me, when you get there, you'll be like, oh, that's what Chris said. That's a stupid question. And so many times, like me and the wife will say it to each other. It's like, that's a stupid question. In the voice of Patrick. If you remember Patrick, the little fat guy from the show, that actor. Anyway, you'll get there. Anyway, that's fun stuff. That's good. I'm glad you're getting there. You said season 6. Let me pop that up and see kind of what things you've been through. Keep an eye on our chat there if you see anybody. I'm seeing it watching. I've been watching Damn for ages, then realized I'm not subbed. Oh my goodness, how did that happen, Crispin? I know, it's crazy talk. Nini Baba. Good morning, Nini Baba. Very first time I remember your name showing up, says that it has the best Star Trek captain, Cisco. I kind of could not disagree with you. I would actually, my feeling is that they're actually all of them are good captains, of course. It really just depends on what scenario you're in as to which captain would fit that scenario best. Picard's more, he would get through in any of them, but which one would do each one best? If you've got a full-on command of battle squad of fleets of ships into battle, you're probably going to want Cisco. But because of the experience that he's getting, that you're going to see. I should shut up now. Shut up, Chris. Shut up.
Getting a lot of experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, Cisco, Janeway, they're all really good. I saw a post on the internet today. Someone said, I wish I'd have saved it. Someone made a deal, and they're like speaking in Janeway's voice. And they're like, this new Academy show, what would Janeway think about this new captain who mumbles her way through her lines and all this business? And actually, the actress who played Janeway responded to that and said, I think she's fantastic. You leave these captains alone. Don't be talking bad about fellow captains. If I would put you in the brig. And you need to keep my name out of your mouth, was what she said. Keep Captain Janeway out. I was like, hell yeah, girl, you go. Really, there's only a few Star Trek actors or players who have disappointed me. And that would be not Cisco. The fuck's his name? First officer on Voyager. Beltran is his real name.
On Voyager?
Yeah.
Chipotle?
Chipotle. Chicote. Yes.
Chicote. Yes. Sorry. We say Chipotle so much.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. So Robert Beltran Chipotle, is apparently a right-wing individual.
Yeah, that's why I don't care to say it's just like F him.
It's unfortunate. Tim Russ, are y'all familiar with Tim Russ, who plays the Vulcan first officer on Voyager? Tim, why is my memory not working this morning? Brain, what is brain? Tuvok. Now, that guy is very left-wing. Tuvok, yes, thank you. He is very left-wing, and I follow him, and I share his shit, and I think he's fantastic. If he wouldn't freak out, I would run up and hug him the next time I see him. I've seen him in person a couple of times on cruises, Star Trek cruises.
Oh, wow. Well, you should definitely say something to him.
Yeah. I mean, live long and prosper, you awesome son of a bitch, because he's awesome. He really is. And then now the people have said something about Shatner. Shatner's had a moment or two where he didn't really, he's apparently said some things that reflect his age and his lack of ability to move forward in our society with the changes that you need to make. My understanding is that he has worked on progressing and learning to be, but really, to be fair and honest, I have a certain idea of Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk was one of the leaders in this "you have rights as a person" situation.
Welcome, host.
And then
you are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Shut up. But to hear some of the things that William Shatner has said over time makes me truly, honestly, really believe that if Shatner met Jim Kirk met William Shatner in a parking lot, Jim Kirk would beat his ass. That's just what I think. William Shatner get his ass beat. The double-handed karate chop. And,
right?
Yeah.
And they do a lot of that.
That
Kira
one where they
did that move, actually, I think.
Yeah. And they do the drop kick where they jump up and they kick them with both their feet and then they fall to the ground. They get up and they fight some more. That's crazy stuff. Yeah.
Good move.
Fun stuff.
That's like a wrestling move. I love it.
I would, Crispin, I would. I really do appreciate, though, that you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let me see. I was going to pop it up and see where you're at, but I changed my system up recently. I started using Edge instead of Chrome so I could chat in the name of Chris Mallard and it's kind of screwed me up in certain places. So let's go IMDb. I know where it's at. I don't even have to look. Deep Space Nine. And then, guys, don't worry. We're not going to talk about this the whole time. The lines are open, so here in a little bit, we'll start taking calls for whenever folks want to call in and talk at us. And you said so you're in season 6. So you've been through, let me just eyeball what you've been through. You've been through some good shit. Let's see, Shattered Moon, The Muse. All right, so let's go through season 5. You said season 5 last time we talked. Mm-hmm. That he is who is out. See, I didn't really care. Trial and Tribulations. That is a very good episode.
Is that in season 5?
5, when they went back in time and they got to wear the old uniforms. Season 5, yeah. And the Ascent, whenever Odo and Quark get stuck on a planet together and they have to climb this mountain and they have to depend on each other and they swap coat and pants and that's a good episode. That's a really good Quark.
That was a very good episode for them to work together like they did and not leave each other to die.
Yeah. And for the uniform is the episode with oh, hell, what is his name? Why am I having a hard time with the names? Kensington.
Oh,
Eddington.
Trader Eddington, yes.
Yeah, Eddington. Now, that was the first time I'd ever heard the reference to Les Miserables, whenever he talks about Javert. If he does, that's the one he talks about Javert in, right? He calls him Javert.
I think, yes, he does. Yeah. I couldn't remember what name, but he does. He calls him something from one of the, Yeah,
so that's the first time I'd ever seen anything about the Les Miserables. I had no idea. And then years later, I got married to the wife. We watched the show. And then we went to the local playhouse and the really fancy shows that come through town, at the big playhouse. They came through. They did Les Miserables. But I didn't get anything. The wife was bawling like a baby 2 minutes into it. I don't know what the hell's going on. I couldn't understand it. I got home and I watched it and I was crying like a baby. I watched it over and over. I sang the songs from that damn thing for 3 years. I still know, just one more day. Anyway, that's why I was talking about the song, The Red and the Blue, or Do you hear the dun dun dun? It's, of course, I didn't sing that song, but that's the rebellion song. We're sick of it, and we're coming to get you. Is essentially what it's all about. Yeah. Demoni Greenie's here. Good morning, Demoni. Let me catch up with some of the people here, Miss Ryan, real quick, and see what all we got going on. We got Winnie Pooh is here. Winnie Pooh. Let's see, Winnie Pooh. Rom's character development is pretty good further to. I really love me some Rom and Nog. Nog is one of my favorite characters. Have you seen the scene where they go to battle yet? Rom goes into battle, Nog goes into battle?
Yeah, because we're out of the Dominion takeover of the Deep Space Nine. They just got it back basically for the past like couple episodes, maybe.
Okay, so you've met the holographic dude who sings. What's his name? Son of a bitch with names today. He's played by Darren.
Sorry, guys. I'm thinking.
The crowd, well, that's what I ought to do. Instead of trying to think of a name, I'll be like, all right, everybody, who is the guy who sings the 1950s style show on the thing? Okay, it's Chris. It's still early, Marsha. Thank you, Marsha. It's still early. Flockmeister is here. Good morning, Flockmeister. Stop singing all the time and has some dialogue. You know, kind of varies. Let's see, though. I just can't remember the damn name. Anyway, so those are good things. Fort Purgatory's Shadow is a good one. Wait. What? In Purgatory's Shadow. You got to see the one where... Oh, the evil one is in the chat. Did you hear that? The evil one.
I can hear it now.
Yes, that's the evil one. In Purgatory's Shadow is the episode where Worf had to fight his way out of that place, and they have the changelings are replacing Worf. They're replacing the Doctor. So for quite a few episodes, the Doctor's not been the Doctor. And you get to see Worf fight.
Yes, that was hard. Poor Worf. He talks about it later, and he said like he was just ready to just give up.
Yes, he was. Let's see where the evil. Oh, good morning, the evil one. The evil one says she's a very busy person. She's importante and whatnot. But she said she would try to watch, and if I cannot cry on the stream about Star Trek, if I cry on the stream about Star Trek, she'll get mad at me. Right says, yeah, I know. Right says, I think Chris needs to invest in Devil Mountain Black Label Coffee 17. Oh yeah, I'd like to get a coffee place. I just don't know that. Somebody called in. 1,000 apologies. Let me pull this up here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to get a coffee sponsorship. Would they appreciate my far left-wing rhetoric, my anti-Trump rhetoric? Would it be too much? That's the issue. I'd love to talk to them, though. Let's bring Rational Poet Jackie up and see what kind of trouble she's got going on for us today. Good morning, Rational Poet Jackie.
Good morning. Yeah, you were talking about Star Trek earlier.
That does happen.
I never really got into the original one. I was more Voyager was my favorite. I haven't watched it in a long time, but as far as the original one, I had nightmares over this one. Do you remember the one where they like their voices started to garble and their face started to pixelate, and then when they was done with the pixelation, their face, they ended up with no faces?
I remember that.
Do you remember
scary.
That one?
Yeah, I was a little kid.
The whole crew had no face.
Yeah.
And, I mean that scared the ever living shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah. Me too. I remember that.
I don't remember the name of the episode. The other one that I did like was the black and white faces, the half black, half white guy.
Yeah.
Or half silver, half black. Remember?
Yeah.
And it was like two brothers fighting each other. And it was like a metaphor towards humanity and why can't we get along?
Exactly right. And it was Donald Trump. It was William Shatner playing Jim Kirk, who at that point was going, listen, race is not a thing. Why are you guys killing each other over this bullshit? And then William Shatner himself comes out later and says stupid shit's about race or something. You know what I mean? After leading the charge on that. One of the things that the new people are complaining about, or some complete people are complaining about, is in that show with the people with two different colors, allegedly all of the rest of their race had died because they warred against each other. And now in the new show, you see, as a matter of fact, we've seen one in the movie. Whenever you watch the movie, Section 31, there was one of these people in the movie with half black and half white. So people are like, well, they were supposed to be all dead. I'm like, really? They couldn't, none of them survived, possibly. And you're gonna bitch about that. That's what you're gonna complain about. That was my problem.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I really didn't get too much into the whole Star Trek thing. But the one thing that I did love about it as a concept is, my understanding is that Gene Roddenberry was prompted to have a ship chaplain, and he put his foot down and he said, no, you're not going to do this because this show is for everybody. It's not just for Christians.
Yeah.
So and the show has always had a liberal, socially liberal stance toward diversity. And it's just so sad that half of this country today doesn't get that. Right. You know, that like they have to be so rigid in who they deem worthy of being called American. It's so pathetic.
True.
Or obtuse of the reality of if there were aliens, you're gonna have to get over yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I won't, but
well, anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Jackie, for joining us. I appreciate that. All right, well, thank you. All right, I have thoughts. Let me really quick. I want to mention, if you're still there, I'd like to bring up this point that. She left. That's cool. On the original show, they did have a wedding. And Kirk was going to be the officiator of the wedding. And just as they were about to begin their matrimonial stuff, that's when he got called to the bridge and the balance of terror began. And at the end of the episode, the woman or the man died, or one of them died that was in the going to be married at the beginning, but they never got to get married because he got called away. So I don't know how they were going to do it at that point. I don't remember exactly, but it was like they were on the verge of some sort of God talk, but they didn't, that I remember. Now, that all being said, and I think Ryan can agree with me on this one. Ryan's over there. I think she's not really there, guys. People ask, are you guys really together? Are y'all in the set? No, we're not. But the new Chris Pike talks about God more than I like, to be fair, to be honest. You know, it's all come down to like a few episodes. Like within a span of a few episodes that all of these things have happened. I don't know if it's a specific writer or what, but yeah, that one time he was
the whole
just
praying thing.
Yes.
Like that really kind of bugged me. I was like, well, this is earlier. Like he is towards, maybe where people were still, there's a remnant of religion or something. I don't know, but I just didn't appreciate it.
Well, if I remember correctly, in this bit of Dare 3, he sits down. I think it's his his girlfriend is ill, and he's like, there's a real bad something. She ain't gonna make it. And he sits down. It's like, I didn't know that I was going to do this. I'm sure, Dad, you'll be happy with that I do this or something like that. And then he goes, Our Father, and then the bells start ringing, and she wakes up or some shit. And if I remember right, because he doesn't get to finish his little prayer.
No, he doesn't. It's just like it starts and then something.
It's like he gets his prayer answered or some business. I think I saw Nitty in the chat, and nice to meet you. Brent A is in the chat this morning. Right-handed Sith, of course. I have a story about Data, the actor who plays Data. Now I'm going to try to. I want to try to be a little nicer than I was before, and I have been in the past. And when you hear the story, you may understand why it bothered me for a while. When me and my wife were on our first cruise, we actually paid money to get a signed autograph with Brent Spiner. And we walked up to the table and we put the image down there, and he's like, hey, where are you guys from? I'm sure I've told you that as this story. And we're like, we're from Albuquerque. He's like, oh, really? He's like, come here. And he's like, that's a really kind of shit place, isn't it? It's just shithole. There's not a lot to do there. I'm like, really? You're going to shit on my hometown? I'm not from Albuquerque. That's where I live now, but And then this is 2021, 22, something like that. Then I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe you got to find the place or whatever. And then he's like, okay. And I said, I'm an actor, and someday I'd like to be on the other side of this table. And he looks at me and goes, never going to happen.
What?
I'm like, dude, really? Okay, I'm going to go over and cry for the rest of the cruise. But see, at that time, there was even already 1 or 2 other shows that have come out. Now we've got 3 or 4 different Star Trek shows. It is possible, not very likely, but it is possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially now that they are kind of expanding their. Well, I mean, I think they always have had a pretty much a variety, but now that it's even like no holds barred.
Yeah, well, you know, they were one of those rare shows that had more than one series going at a time before all the rest. I think like before CSI had 3 different series or 4 different, you know. So you had Voyager, you had Star Trek, you had Deep Space Nine and The Next Generation going at the same time. The Next Generation stopped, and then Voyager started. You had, and you know, now hell we have a whole bunch of them. Part of the cool thing, I think, is what I really like about the new Star Trek show is that it's not for me. And I know that. I recognize that. I wear that on my sleeve going into it. And when I watch, I'm like, that's cool for the kids. They're going to love it. It's stupid. That's just stupid. That's stupid. But it's not stupid to them. And, you know, I can go back to any Star Trek series, any one of them, and go, this is just fucking stupid. If you're an original series fan and you want to die on that hill, we can talk about the episode where Kirk was swapped out with the personality of a woman, and we get to see what William Shatner, James Kirk, and the writers of the original Star Trek thought women thought about and how they thought. And it's absolutely pathetic. It's the last episode of the entire series.
Ugh.
They were done. So there is that. Hypatia Stanhope says all Trek shows were stupid.
Hypatia, how dare you? That's blasphemy here. Don't you understand?
Did I just have a stroke? There's a
That's our no-no land.
yeah. You don't.
Don't touch our no-no spot.
That's right. You know, I mean, oh, goodness gracious. Yay, Sci-Fi Friday. Well, we're kind of Sci-Fi Friday. We're gently talking about sci-fi. The topic, of course, is whose God is more powerful. And then we can wrap that in there, too, because at best, God could be considered a science fiction character. And then you've got which God would be more powerful, because you can't really claim the God of the Old Testament is as powerful as the Christians now think he is, who like manipulates every molecule of every atom everywhere all the time. Because I mean, remember iron chariots?
Didn't like them.
Right. I mean, it was so much a deterrent that they wrote it in their fucking holy book that God could not make. They didn't go over there because they had iron chariots. Oh shit.
Yeah, upsetty spaghetti. They got very upsetty spaghetti.
Right. J.L. Warren, I don't really recognize the name. It does feel familiar. Good morning. It says blasphemer DS9 is sacrosanct. Thank you. I don't recognize you, but I feel a brother in Trek or sister in Trek when I feel. I mean, just it's okay.
You feel a spirit, don't you? Like it comes upon you, and you just know that he's with you.
That's right. That's right. You're a Niner, or possibly a Niner. You know, really. Now, let me ask you, Ms. Ryan, while I've got you, you've seen all the Star Treks. Now, well, I think almost all of them. Some of them are different, with Discovery being more of a central character, really Michael Burnham and maybe Tilly. Everything else, everybody else was there in their names. You might know their names, but not so much. But now you're going through Deep Space Nine. I was watching Deep Space Nine with the wife the other night. We're in season 5 still, in fact. I'm like, and there's got the B story and the A story, and they got this character and this character and this character. I was like, man, I just love these ensemble shows. It's really good. I like it to where they divide it up, and it's really good. You've got Quark and Odo doing their thing, and Julie and Bashir and O'Brien doing their thing, and you've even met Wayoon by now.
Yes, Wayoon. Yes, they've been in a lot. Actually.
Yes. Wayoon is also, of course, as you know, the same actor who plays Brunt, FCA. Mm-hmm. I always got to throw the FCA in there. Yeah, he does a really good job. Of course, you did see Enterprise, so you've met him. He was Shran in Enterprise, in case you guys didn't remember that.
Yep.
Hypatia Stanhope says, and a lot of people believe this, says DS9 was a disappointment. And if I could taser you through the internet, I would, but they... No. They say I still can't taser you through the... Are you sure? Oh, okay. They say I can't taser you through the internet, but I would if I could, if they would let me. However, Hypatia, I do understand. A lot of people, even myself, had a hard time with Deep Space Nine. The first time I saw it, of course, I saw it back when it came out, so I didn't get to see it all at one, but I saw the first episode and I was like, oh man, this is a bunch of shit. Star Trek embracing gods or some business. I had a hard time with it. The prophets and I didn't have a problem with a black captain. Even as a kid, I did not have a problem. I never remember being a racist piece of shit. Just never something I remember being. I don't remember. I do slightly remember having a problem with it not being on a ship. I want it on a ship, not a space station. Somebody's trying to connect. I see them trying to connect on our thingy there. We'll see, and we'll see who's calling and what they want to talk about today, if they can. They've popped up a couple of times and it keeps dropping them. The system, I don't know if it's their phone or what. So there could be that. What's the Star Trek word for jihad? Probably jihad. I guess it would be probably a word they would use in a history class, I would hope. With any luck. Back in this century, between this period and this period, the word jihad meant this, and people used it for this and this and this, but that meaning has moved on, and people don't really... That's what I hope happens by the time we get to Star Trek days. You know? I'd love the idea of Christian nationalism to be a thing of the past, a history, you know? I just don't know that it will. You know what? Somebody is trying to get through, though, but it is time for the bottom of the hour. We do need to run a commercial. What would you, my friends, want? Do you want the ghost-scented flesh candles, the fascism commercial, Conspirowin, the pup, postmortem baptismal kit? That's my favorite. And then, of course, we got other stuff. Wild Bill, if you want Wild Bill. We got the Heavenly Halos, if you want Halos. So this is what we see. Oh, somebody wants Halos. That's first vote for Halo. Do we get another vote for Halo? Halo's going ones. I love the Halos one. It's just long is all the only reason. I mean, but I dig it. It's a good long. Yeah, like shut up, Chris. All right, I think that's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna take a break real quick, and we're going to go get a cup of coffee, refill our coffee. Faisal. Okay, Faisal is on the line again. Maybe having some trouble. We'll talk to Faisal in just a moment whenever we get back from this quick break. Okay, guys? Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Hi, Barks. Blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Flanagan, and today I'm here seeking $50,000 for 3% of my soul-saving startup, Holy Halos, the world's first, soon-to-be, church-approved condoms. Following the ways of the Lord can be hard and often require sacrifices of the flesh. Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of Holy Halo condoms.
Hold on, Father. The church very much doesn't like condoms. How do you expect to sell these?
Well, you're right, but these aren't just any condoms. No, my furry financiers, these are permeable. But every single halo has been dipped in holy water, a divine divider between you and sin. You can finally frolic freely and still keep that sweet spot in heaven. Permeable, but dipped in holy water to keep the sin out, but let the babies in.
Let you get your stick wet without getting your stick stuck.
If you know what I mean.
Oh my! Very embarrassing every time.
So basically they don't work as condoms, but they let you get away with having sex without going to hell?
Exactly. The church gets to keep making babies, but you don't have to keep going to confession. Think of it. No more guilt. No more awkward "I'm saving myself for marriage" speeches. With Holy Halos, you can take those pray hands and turn them into lay hands.
Didn't I read that holy water is full of bacteria like E. coli? Won't this be harmful to women's health?
The words are English, but I don't understand the question.
How are you addressing the issue holy water presents for women's health?
Again, I'm not understanding.
She does that. Well, we don't get it either.
Is that mesh from a window screen?
Ah, that's a keen eye you have there, young lass. Yes. Another fine selling point, rough on the outside to increase her shame, as it should be, but soft and smooth on the inside, internally lubed and ribbed for his pleasure. We even have custom scents.
Scents? Now you have my attention. What flavors we talking? Don't pitch me that vanilla missionary nonsense, Padre.
Well, we do have virgin vanilla, but we also have miracle mint and cooing camel, and my personal favorite, sweat of the Savior.
And the Vatican, they've blessed this endeavor?
Well, not exactly. I'm still waiting on the papal decree one way or the other.
I love it, but you're asking 50 grand for only 3%. That's rough, Father, real rough.
Not running with the big dogs on this one. I'm gonna stay on the porch.
Me too. Good luck, Father. 15%.
Ouch, 15%, that's highway robbery even for the church.
Come on, Father. We're dogs. We know a bone when we see one. 10%, and we'll even bless your branding.
Look, meet me in the middle, 7%, and I'll baptize all your puppies.
7% works for me. Father Flanagan, it looks like
Wait a second. Our producers say we have a special call-in bidder. Let's get him up on the screen. Folks, we have the guardian of the sacred fire hydrant himself.
Oh no.
Defender of the holy tennis ball and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poops a Lot the Fifth.
Flanagan!
Yes, your portrait.
50,000 at 20%.
20%?
And you get to keep calling yourself a father.
Sold to the pup in the very fine hat.
I knew you'd see it my way.
You're very wise, your hiney. Would there be anything else?
You may leave.
Father Flanagan's line of holy halos, ultra thin, spiritually thick. Available in 3 sizes, conservative, medium, and liberal. All right, we are back, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. We have got Faisal on the line. Faisal is sort of a regular. Let me bring Faisal up here. Faisal, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Okay, good morning or good afternoon, Faisal. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. What about you?
So far, so good. Yeah, it's a good morning so far. You say you're so for those who don't know, the topic of the show today is, let me bring it up here so I can read it correctly, is whose God is more powerful, okay? If they existed, of course, whose God? So Faisal has called in for the purpose, I believe, to answer the question, and what he said is Islamic God is the only God, correct, Faisal?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Which other gods are you considering? Are you thinking about like Zeus? Have you considered Zeus?
First of all, we have to find out what does the God mean. We have to.
What does God mean?
Hello?
Well, you mean what does God mean? Please clarify.
Yeah, first we have to define what God means.
Okay.
So, in Holy Quran, God has introduced himself, and in chapter 114, its name is Chapter of Sincerity, Surah Ikhlas. So, I am going to read 4 verses, and that will define what God is and what God must be.
Okay, we'll entertain this. Carry on. Yeah. I mean, I got a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, chapter 112, the sincerity, it says, "Say, O Prophet, He is Allah, the God, one and indivisible." Means He is only uniquely one. There is none other than Him. Allah, the sustainer, needed by all. It means He is self-sufficient. He is needed. Everyone needs Him, but He doesn't need anyone.
Okay, I get that.
Third point is, He has never had offspring, nor was He born. It means He does not beget, nor He was begotten. So He is not a child of anyone. He is not a parent of anyone. Fourth is, there is none comparable to Him. There is nothing in this world which is comparable to Him. So these are the four lines which is given in the Quran about what God should be and what God must be.
Interesting.
God has introduced Himself.
Okay.
So if we apply these these four verses on any other god, they will fail the exam. They will fail the test.
Well, let me ask you: have you actually gone and look and see? Now, this is to be fair, Faisal. This is your God making a claim. He's making that claim, right? Today, I'm not going to argue about whether Faisal's God is real or not, okay? We're not going to argue that today. So for me today, right now, he's making this claim that his God says he can do certain things. Well, what if I told you that Zeus, somewhere in his writing, made a similar claim? Does that make Zeus's claim real? Because somebody else's God said it was real? Essentially, what you're telling me is because your God says it was all powerful, then it's all powerful. That's really what all those words you put together, every example you said, are all essentially your God or the person who believed in your God saying, hey, I'm God, and this is why. So other people who they have stories of their gods believe their gods are all powerful too.
Okay, but when we apply logic and common sense, they fail to be God. You can't call them God.
Why?
Because okay, was you dependent on food, air, and water for survival? Hello?
Hold on, he's muted.
I was muted because my dogs are barking. Well, say that again, Faisal.
Something about needing air and water.
Okay.
Well, there's other creatures, other mythologies. Other mythologies have their beliefs of how the universe was created and who created the universe, who created the air, who created the water, who created the night, who created the day. And that's the whole purpose of a mythology, is to try to figure out. It's early man, a long time ago, trying to understand what was going on in the world around them. The lightning comes on and it's very powerful. And they just try to figure out what makes the lightning. And they don't know science. They don't know about static electricity and the differential between the particles up there and the particles down here. They don't know nothing about that. So whenever the lightning goes off, they're like, oh my God, where did that lightning come from? It must have come from a higher power. And all these different mythologies assign their gods, God or gods, to those different abilities. You know what I mean? To those different attributes. So to say that just because Allah said, well, I am everything, well, Zeus said that, Quetzalcoatl said that, Thor said, well, not Thor. Thor doesn't say that, different kind of God, right? But you know what I mean? If your God is making the claim, how valuable could that be? If everybody else, if other people outside were going, man, look at that God, he is just fantastic. He can do this, he can do this. I don't even believe in that God, and yet I see it doing this. But you don't see that. You're literally talking about the people who loved this God and worshiped it, writing in its book about how it is a God.
Did Zeus ever claim divinity?
Who?
Are you talking about Zeus, no? Z-E-U-S?
Oh, Zeus. Maybe he did. Would that make the difference? Do I just need to go? Is that all it takes? Is that I got to go find a God that claimed divinity? And actually, I want to point out to you that the term divinity means of God. So they're going to be godlike. We already call them gods. So if it's Zeus, he's already divine in their religion. He is divine in their religion. See, Quetzalcoatl down in South America, who is a snake-like god with feathers and all that, he is divine in their religion. He is above us. He's reached another level.
Did Zeus used to eat food?
Yeah. Did Jews just used to eat food? Is that what you asked?
Zeus God.
Oh, Zeus, damn it. Sorry. I'm sorry. You keep saying Zeus. Apologies. Did Zeus
Yeah, I'm not talking about you.
Okay, yeah, I know. Like, dude, let's not go there. No, he's talking about Zeus.
I'm talking about the God Zeus.
You're good, man. You're good. Yeah, the god Zeus. Did he? I'm sorry?
It's not my first language, so my pronunciation could be faulty sometimes.
It's not you. It's not you. I'm gonna blame the phone line. You're fine. You're fine. Did Zeus eat food? Zeus, I think, ate the children of other gods. He ate his own children, I think. Yeah, he had children with a whole bunch of different women, and then he would eat them. That's weird, isn't it? Don't you and I both think that's weird? That's just weird.
It is weird. Kronos ate his own children too. It was kind of like a thing.
If God used to eat food, how can he be God? How can you consider him God? Because God does not need to eat food for his survival.
But you also claim that your God doesn't need anything, but clearly he needs you to worship him.
And he did have to rest, according to the early Bible.
Yeah. So that is my point. That he used to have rest. He used to have food. He used to drink water for his survival.
That's what all God
he was
did.
Dependent on these. He was dependent on these.
Allah, his early version did as well. Just saying.
Well, hold on, Faisal. Well, what I am saying is that the God of the Bible, in Genesis, when he created the universe, he had to rest. He had to stop and rest. It says so in the Bible. Now, you think the Bible's corrupted. I understand that. We're just not going to go there right now. But you know what I mean? We that's a later conversation, brother. It just really is, because I feel like the Muslims take from the Bible what they want to take. They call what they don't like corrupt, and that's just like modern day Christians. They go and they pick and choose, and whatever they don't like, they don't call it corrupt. They just ignore it.
But it is fact that it is corrupted, because Christian scholars also admit by themselves that this is not a real gospel which Jesus was preaching to the Jews.
I kind of didn't get that. I'm sorry. I was trying to. I had a dog flapping in my back ears. Say that again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, say it again, Faisal.
I was saying that Christian scholars themselves admitted that these New Testament is not the gospel which Prophet Jesus was preaching to the Jews at that time. So he was not preaching the four gospels, anonymous authors, written by anonymous authors, or letters of Paul, or Dream of John, the Revelation book. So this can't be a real revelation which was revealed to Jesus from God.
See, that's the whole thing, man. I mean, I appreciate you think that, and I appreciate that your religion thinks that, but a third of the population of the Abrahamic religion disagrees with you. Billions of people disagree with you. And really,
I don't know what he said.
I know some of it's hard. It's you have in the past, you've gone, well, Moses did this and Abraham did this, and therefore that makes the Quran real. But Moses and Abraham are both out of the Torah, and you like them when you want to try to prove them, to use them to prove your Quran is real. But when I use them to prove anything else, you're all like, well, the Bible's corrupted and I don't like the Bible now. Right?
No, so what point would you bring from Bible to prove Islam wrong?
Okay, because in the Bible, God had. All right, I'm going to do this. In the Bible, you're talking about God having physical attributes because he has to eat, because he doesn't have to eat. He's not all powerful, or whatever. But the God in the God in the Old Testament had to stop and rest. He had to stop and rest. He had the attributes of a being. You know what I mean?
That is why we reject him.
See, isn't that crazy? That's just crazy.
But that is why we reject him.
He said that's why they reject him.
Because
reject
they have attributed
right. So because their newer version, the newer version that is told 1,000 years after original version, 700 years after the Christian version, their version is right. And because they want to stick to their version, then anything they don't like with the other version is corrupt.
No, but we believe
That's
that
exactly what I'm
Islam
saying.
didn't start from. But we believe that Islam didn't start from Prophet Muhammad. It started from Prophet Adam.
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad is the final messenger of Islam. He's not the founder of Islam.
According to
Islam
who?
means submission.
Who says that he's the final prophet? He does.
Because we have, we
He
say
does.
that, but we have.
Do you see that? So what if another person comes along and they say they are the prophet of Allah? Does that mean they are just because they say they are?
But they have to prove that they are prophethood.
Yeah, but he hasn't. In no way has he done that. No way has he done that. No way. If he did, I mean.
If he didn't prove it, no one would follow him. Now we have
wait.
followers.
Why do people follow Jesus? Why do people follow Buddha? Why do people follow any of these? Why do people follow fucking Donald Trump, for that matter? Why do they follow them? Because they do. To say that's a good excuse because he was a warlord, he was actually the husband of a woman who had a lot of money and he became a warlord back in Mecca and Medina, doesn't mean.
No, you can't say he's a warlord. You can say he was a warrior prophet, but he was not warlord. Warlord means one who rob money from the caravans and do all these things. But when we look at the history, he didn't loot anyone. He just took belongings back, which the Arab pagans had stolen, had taken them when they kicked them out from the Makkah to Medina. So you can't claim that he was warlord or robber like some.
Yeah, I don't really think we should split that hair. I'll give you that one, in other words, just so we can move on. What did you call him? A warrior prophet who murdered people and killed people who were helpless and who were tied down and couldn't fight back? Yeah, that's the guy.
No, he did. He did fight war, but it was not from him. He didn't start the fight by himself.
Yeah.
The enemies attacked him. He attacked. He defended the Muslims. He's in self-defense. He didn't start war on his own or something like that.
Here's what I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that may be difficult for you to believe, okay? And go check me. Please go check me. Before Muhammad arose in Saudi Arabia, there was peace. There was peace. You had Jews, you had Christians, you had a whole bunch of other different religions, people who worship the moon gods, the moon god worshippers of Saudi Arabia, which is actually part of modern day Islam today. There was peace. They had temples where all their gods were displayed at the same time. And then Muhammad come along and he made war on all these other people. You go look that up yourself. Okay, go check that out yourself. Don't believe me? No. Go look for non-Muslim sources and for yourself, Faisal.
Okay. But from Muslim side, we say that the pagans Arabs, they had been following the religion of Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael. And it was a distorted version of that religion.
But wait. No.
They had started making idols and all these.
Your version is the distorted version. That's right. Your version is, theirs was first. Theirs was first. The original God spoke to them first. We even have older texts, original texts. We have texts. Wait. We have texts, and I could be wrong. I believe some of the Dead Sea Scrolls are older than your entire religion by 500 or 600 years at least. We have scrolls that are older than your religion that says these are correct. This is the right way. These are the words of God. Yours is the one that's been corrupted. It was corrupted by a man to get power. And you should go learn that. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. But what we got to do, what we're going to do real quick is we got Faisal. I appreciate you calling. We've got another caller on the line. Think about the, no, I don't think that'd help. I appreciate you calling, Faisal. Give us a call back later. Okay. Maybe we'll talk about give us other proof for God. Now, I think, remember, this is what your takeaway is from this conversation. You came and you said, my God in its book says my God is the best God. That's what you said. Basically, just because your God says so.
According to the common sense, that would be the definition of the God. According to the common sense, that would be the definition of God. God should not be self-dependent on anything. But when we see on every other God, they were dependent. they were dependent on food, they were dependent on water and all these sources.
That's
they also had,
Your God
they
is
also
still
had children.
dependent on prayers.
right.
It still needs you to worship him. There's a lot of things your God still needs that you're not recognizing and not accepting.
Yeah. But also there again, anytime we prove anytime we disprove the claims of your God by any other book outside of yours, which those other books are older and more, you would claim more accurate, right? We've got the evidence, and you claim they're bad because they don't follow, because they disprove your God, man. Because they did that's what those older texts disprove your book, and that's why they don't like them. That's what's really happening. Go look that up for yourself. We've got another caller on the line. I'm going to appreciate you for calling. I don't mean to be rude. I just got a short amount of time, right? And I'm going to let Faisal go, and then we're going to take a short break, like a really short break. And then we'll come back and we'll visit with Mike Brown on morality within atheist paradigm kind of situation. Faisal, I will think about what you have said.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I would ask you to think about. Okay, yeah. And I would appreciate you to think about what I said. I'll think about what you said. Think about what I said. Have a great weekend, Faisal. Stay safe. Sin safely. Depends on who's God, right? Stay safe. Stay safe, my brother. Stay safe. Take care. All right, guys. We're going to take a quick break. Whenever we get back, we're going to visit with Mike Brown. You know, maybe we should make the show longer so we could have more calls, so we could take more time with these, because some of these just require it. We're going to take a quick break, though. Let's do with 1 minute, and we'll be back. Do you have an atheist friend or family member who's a good person and you don't want to see them end up in hell? But now they're on their deathbed. Time is running out. They've been there for you, and now you want to be there for them. But how can you save them from your all-loving, forgiving God and its eternal lake of fire? Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of atheist deathbed conversion Bibles. No more worries of loved ones meeting their resolution without absolution. Now you too can flourish your faith on the weak and helpless in their final moments. Father Flanagan's line of atheist deathbed conversion Bibles are designed specifically for the weak and infirmed. Extra large type for failing eyes seeing their last. Deluxe editions come complete with a post-mortem Mother Teresa would have approved baptismal kit. Also available in heathen and heretic versions. Father Flanagan's line of atheist deathbed conversion Bibles. Coming to a Walmart. But here we go. We are back. Interesting earrings you got there. What are those, by the way?
Oh, I got these from a girl who does like upcycling. So they're just wine corks.
Oh, gotcha.
And
that's what I thought.
She painted just like little constellations on them.
Oh, cool. Like Stargate. Very cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Awesome sauce. Let me bring up our next caller, Mike Brown. Let's see what Mike has to say. Mike, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you doing today, Mike?
Great. How are you guys doing?
So far,
Morning,
so
Mike.
good. Are you a Christian,
Great.
Mike?
No, I'm not a Christian.
Okay. I'm just asking, because I got different banners I put up whenever I put people's names. So let me just go right there and go right here. All right, Mike, what's going on? You say you want to talk about morality within atheist paradigm. Okay.
Yeah. So I would like to start off with, do you guys believe morality is objective or subjective?
Subjective.
Subjective, so it would just be based on your preference, or?
Well, the short answer would be yes, but I don't really think that's really a good answer. Here's the long answer. Is sort of like, we get our morality from 100,000 years. I go through this almost every day on the show, man. I'm sorry. So bear with me as I do this again.
That's okay.
We evolved over 100,000 years in small tribes and cultures and things like that. And in that 100,000 years, we have learned that it's bad to kill people. Certain things are wrong. Certain things are right. We've learned that from them. Now, we now have, in our modern age, turned those values into what we might call laws. Okay?
Okay.
Now, can everybody follow the law? Does everybody want to follow the law? No, they don't. And that's what and is the law the same everywhere? Is the law the same in where you live as it is in Japan?
Are laws moral?
No, but there would be a distinction between laws and morality, right?
No, I'm using these as an example. See, because the laws they create, the morality, we can use the same words if you like. The morality of the culture in Japan is different than the morality in the culture you live in. unless you live in Japan. The morality of the culture in which you live in is different than the culture of the Native Americans. The culture of the Middle East, if you steal, they will cut off your hand. Do they do that where you live? So essentially, morality is subjective. It's different all over the world. If it were objectively created and controlled by a God, you would think it'd be the same everywhere, wouldn't you?
I think there's a distinction being made, right? I mean, to say that morality is objective, you don't need to presuppose a God for that kind of morality, right?
Well, who makes it objective? Who's the person that says this is objective?
Yeah, but you're assuming that there has to be a you, a who, right, or a person, right?
So, all right, you're going to have to explain to me then. What is objective morality, and how do we determine what it is? Does somebody put it in a book? How do we determine what objective morality is?
Well, I mean, you made the point that we get some kind of morality from, I guess, evolutionary point of view, right?
Yeah, so I don't actually believe in objective morality. Now, Christian or theists will believe in objective morality because they believe in a single God that lays down the laws. What is good is holy, what is not good is sinful, based on how that God feels. Yeah. That is objective morality.
We're getting away from the main point, which is effectively, how do you decide whether killing someone is wrong or right? I mean, you make the judgments against Muslims and theists that say, well, Muhammad was a warlord, right?
Oh,
but that's just your preference.
Jesus wasn't a warlord.
No, I'm not talking about Muhammad. Muhammad was a warlord, right?
Yeah. Well,
I could agree with you that he was a warlord, but from your paradigm, it seems to be the case that it's just your preference whether that's a good or bad thing. I mean, at least a Muslim has something to appeal to, which would be, divine command, right?
So if that's how you want to see it.
But that's the way it is, right? Because your only solution is that it's your purpose.
Listen, let me ask you, is that, well, I mean, if you're going to go that way, then, I mean, well, yeah, sure, it's my preference.
Yeah. So
what's your next question?
Well, how do you resolve problems?
We don't, man. That's what I try. Listen, brother, I went through this whole thing of explaining to you, even going back 100,000 years, of how we get our morals. Now, I tried to use the example of laws of how sometimes we break our. Now, let me rephrase that then. Sometimes, despite having 100,000 years that tell us murder is wrong, that killing is wrong, evolution and society telling us, sometimes we get impassioned. Sometimes something comes up and we're like, son of a bitch, and I got to. Some people, not everybody was raised with the same rules, as I tried to explain to you. Over in Japan, killing somebody means something different. In the United States, is it murder if you're killing someone who's breaking into your house? No, it's not, because of how we define killing someone. So morality is not objective. It is subjective everywhere.
Okay, that's fair. But if you do hold to the position that it is subjective, I mean, I'm just as valid as you are. If I say, well, killing this individual is right, and you say killing this individual is wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just preference based. So then nobody's really right.
You're actively causing harm. What?
Right. You're kind of ignoring. You're ignoring the
principle. I mean, that's just made up. It's just preference whether you prefer harm or not.
Principle. See, that sounds
you're ignoring the entire first half of my thing, where I talked about we evolved 100,000 years worth of culture, tribes, and all these things to learn that murder is bad. Now, not everybody does that.
Well, you're slipping something in, right? Because when you say murder, that's just unjustified killing, right? So you're slipping in the fact that it's already unjustified. I mean, of course, but that could work within any paradigm. I mean, if you say that murder is
very subjective, doesn't it?
Well, it seems to. It is. From your paradigm, it would be subjective, but you don't really have an answer to it, right? Because if you say murdering this individual is right, and I say murdering him is wrong,
you keep putting words in my mouth. You keep putting words in my mouth, and I never said those things.
No, I know you didn't say it, but
no, you keep saying that because I tried to explain to you that we have a society that controls those things, and if you break those things,
what if society disagrees with you? Would you be okay with that?
How do you feel about what happened with society back in 1938 in Germany? Do you agree with their society did? What do you do?
Of course not. But
okay, then you condemn it, right? That's what I do if I disagree with my society does. I condemn it.
Not only I condemn it, but I think the main concern here is that you don't really have an answer to say whether they're right or wrong.
Do not, once again, if you say one time I don't have an answer, I'm going to bounce you from my fucking show. I answered your question. You just don't like it, or you can't understand it. One of those two things. But if you tell me one more time, I'll
still amend your position. Okay, is that fair? Is it fair if I still amend your position?
Just speak, man. Dude, get to your point. You're wearing on my patience.
I'm going to stay in your position. Okay, so in terms of evolutionary factors in society, right?
Now we're talking about evolution. Evolution and atheism doesn't have fuck to do with each other.
Well, of course. I mean, there's evolutionary factors in terms of how what we decide whether it's good or bad. I mean, of course.
Oh, now we're talking about that again. Okay. Now, evolutionary. I guess we're talking about cultural pressures, and why is that not a good enough answer? All right. So let me ask you. Let me ask you, because you're the one who can't answer the question. I asked you, where does objective morality come from?
Yeah.
Where?
I mean, I don't hold to a specific position, but I can say that morality can be a law, like an example, it would be a law of nature. That could be a moral.
But even in nature, a lion kills other lions' cubs. So does that make it good?
Well, I would argue that any imposition of will would be immoral. Yeah.
So nobody's in position. What are you talking about? Any imposition? That's not a very good answer, brother. You're sitting there trying to say one thing, and you're trying to wait. You're trying to get out of it by using nature. I throw nature back at you and go, take that, and use some sort of will bullshit. That's not a good answer, man.
Are you under the position that wolves and lions are moral creatures? I would argue that they're not.
Why?
What?
Why are they not moral?
Because they're acting in their best interest. I mean, if a lion kills your son, right? Why can't we attribute moral agency to other creatures other than humans? Why does it have to only be humans? I don't get it.
I believe you when you say that. You should probably put that on a hat.
Why are you applying morality only to humans? Why wouldn't you apply it to other beings? Right?
Well, that's the whole deal. Why are you trying to apply morality to other creatures? Why are you trying to apply your morality to other creatures?
Because if morality is universal, then why wouldn't it apply to other agents?
But that's exactly right. You're saying morality is objective, and that there is indeed somewhere an objective morality where everything is the same. And then you use nature as an example. And I'm like, listen, dude, in nature, as one tiny example, a new lion who comes into a pride and takes over as the head of the pride will often kill all the baby cubs of the old lion. Yeah. And in that culture, in the way of the lion, that's that. According to you, I personally.
Are you saying it's not immoral?
I'm not.
I think the problem that you're having is that, do you think that animals have agency, or do you think that animals have
the problem that you're having is that you think there's some sort of agency above all these creatures determining what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong, what's moral and what's not moral.
You're putting that in my mouth, because I never said that it's some kind of agent out there that's deciding whether something's right or wrong.
But you're trying to give us something of objective morality, and you can't give me any kind of example of it.
Okay, so you haven't proved me wrong yet, because I said that any imposition of will is immoral. So how do you argue against my point? I mean, you're just saying it's not the case, but I mean, you haven't had an argument.
Because you say it's immoral? Now, because you say it's immoral. No, shut up, dude, because you say it's immoral. Now, first of all, what is imposition of will? What does that mean exactly? No, that's very broad, dude. That is so broad. That is so ridiculously broad. Anytime anybody does anything, it's an imposition of will. If I cut into somebody and somebody else in the line, it's an imposition of will, and it's an immoral.
Yes, exactly.
And your God is just sitting up there doing, oh my God, ticking this box and ticking that person's immoral, this box. But who's objectively moral, dude? Who says that? If there's nobody, so it's essentially you're the person that says this. If there's no God, you're the person who says this.
You're assuming that, right?
I already tried to ask you about that, and you denied it. So where do we get our objective morality?
Here, the concern here is that you're appealing to my worldview, when in reality we're talking about your worldview, right? So now you want to do what about it?
Dude, I answered your question about my worldview. You just don't like the answer.
No. Well, because it's not an answer, right? Can you give me a deductive argument why morality is subjective?
I fucking did, dude. I'm not going to do it again. I did. Dude, stop. Is morality the same in Japan? I'm going to do this fucking slow. Yeah. Is morality the same in Japan as it is where you live? No, it's not. It's not the same in Japan. It's not the same. There is no objective morality. I have proven to you that we have subjective morality, and I'm done with you. Not only, I mean, you're just. I'm done. I feel like I gave a very good answer as to what subjective several times, in fact. So
we're not programmed. I mean, if we were all programmed, that stuff could just be input into us.
And I don't know where he refused. Now, see, that's the whole deal. I gave him an answer where we get our subjective morality and how it comes about. But whenever I tried to ask the question back to him, he was like refusing. He didn't want to acknowledge God, all that other business. So, but whenever I'm like, there's no God, he's like, well, who said that? I'm like, all right, well, where do you get your objective morality? And he doesn't want to get back to, now all of a sudden it's about me and not him. We did me, and I explained very well. It's fourth grade level that person should be able to understand. So let me see.
I would love to know if they think, did they say whether or not laws are moral? Did they?
Well, I tried to use laws as like the end game of where morality, how man tries to demonstrate law or morality in a form, and he couldn't accept that. Well, we're not talking about laws, we're talking about morality. And I was like, all right, that's when I broke it back down to just saying morality. The morality is the same in Japan as it is here. That's why I did that. I quit using the law as the example because he didn't get that. The analogy of the law is really kind of, in a way, the way our various societies around the world write down our morals. And they vary from fucking city to city, and not everybody can. Go ahead.
It was just the way that he said how, well, like, at least I believe he's used Islam. At least they have like a book that they use. I believe that's what he said.
Oh, yeah. He was trying to get to that, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, if it's written down, what you're saying, as long as it's written down, then that's why I was like, okay, right. Does that mean laws? Because laws are written down. Does that mean laws are moral? No, it doesn't. So even still that it's written down doesn't mean it's moral.
Great point. I think, well, one of the things you'd give behind that is because who is the power behind that law? Is it a judge? Well, that's where we bounce the question back. Who's the power behind your God? Who's the power behind your, if they want to answer our question, but they don't want to. This is craziness. Let me see what the chat thinks.
An anonymous source cannot be an author of morality. Just sorry.
Yeah,
I don't think so. No,
you're just taking somebody's word for it.
No bubkiss about the people.
Right. I'm just thinking that I don't know why we keep having this objective morality, subjective morality conversation. It so does get old. There's no way they can provide objective morality. You cannot do it. It is always subjective to someone. Someone else is going to think it's good.
I mean, he said about like not going against somebody's will. And for the most part, like I do kind of agree with that. But then I mentioned vaccines. Well, what do you do in that instance? I guess you try to mitigate harm, but that's still going against somebody's will who doesn't want an injection, but it's better for, society that, we don't get polio again or whatever.
Right. Theoretically says hard disagree with Chris. On which part, man? And who's disagreeing with me? I mean, I just feel like it's more likely that we got our morals from evolution, and clearly it's subjective all over the world, and I don't know of a single way anybody can demonstrate objective morality to me. So I may be hard wrong. I'm actually in a pretty good mood today, so I'm not really in the mood to argue about if I'm wrong. I'll just go, yeah, I'm not wrong. Now, if you're talking about I'm hard wrong for I got tired of arguing with that individual, no, I believe I answered his question quite sufficiently. And whenever he proved that was the only thing he was interested in talking about, since I had taken care of that, I was done. It's my show, bitch. Not bitch Theo, I'm talking about him. Or bitches, who I'm talking about. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to.
Like needling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just felt like no. Give me an exact definition. Give me.
And like,
for what, at what purpose? To what end?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, everybody's moral compass is going to be different. I'm going to say everybody's moral compass is going to be as different as their fingerprints. They're going to be some, not even more different because fingerprints aren't, anyway, shut up, science nerds. Anyway, I mean, everybody's internal morality is very different. I don't think anybody can actually prove.
Written down or not, it doesn't seem to make a difference for Christians whether or not they're following the law, whether they're following biblical law, whether they're following the 10 Commandments. It doesn't seem to change their behavior. So again, just saying that somebody's morals are better because it's written down is weird to me. Right. I disagree. Highly disagree.
Right. And that's why I thought about you. I mean, there are so many creatures in the wild for so many different reasons will literally eat their own young. It's a joke I've done. When I had my kid acted out, I'd look at my wife and I go, now I know why some animals in the wild eat their young. They do it. And if that's immoral, who are we to determine that's moral or immoral? If we're going to, especially if you're going to go back and try to use nature as the yardstick of what determines what's moral, because that's where we started to go. And well, if it's objectively moral in nature, and then I'm like, wait a second, what about animals that eat their own kids, right? And now that's immoral, but the lions don't think it's immoral.
I mean, I think as a like baseline, sure. I have said that I think we've learned a lot from animals over time.
Oh yeah.
Observation, just through observation of what works better for us, when we work together as humans, yada, yada, yada. I mean, but again, something hardline written down, I'd love it. Sure. That'd be great if there was some kind of everything power knew all source that would be able to imbue us with that, but not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I'm waiting to. Joe Dirt is here. Joe Dirt says we should eat the rich. Somewhere I saw that it was eating billionaires is moral. I figure we should eat if we only eat like a 4 or 5, the rest of them would get in line. I'm saying that's the whole other conversation. Well, one of the deals though now after I listen to the things, I want to have to go back and think about this conversation just like I've thought about other conversations where as I've told you yesterday on the show. Part of the reason why I don't like doing the show is because I get passionate and before long I'm like, God, that's just fucking stupid. And I get all Daffy Duck and I'm like, man, what the fuck? But I have to go, am I right? Was I right?
So Rainbow Ash said that Mark is trying to call in, but we're rejecting his call. That could just be the call-in line or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was the same guy who called in earlier. I saw something popping up. Occasionally, people do have trouble calling in. Now, if this is Mark or Mike, the same guy who just called in, and I just talked to, I blocked him on the thing just because he kept calling in. And really, I want to be fair and honest because I like being honest to you folks. If they call and they want to be pissed off at me and they sit there in the chat and they wait for me to put them up, that costs me 6 cents a minute to let them just sit there and be mad at me. So I'm not going to. So whenever I thought it was the same guy calling back in, I blocked him. I don't know how to unblock. Unblocked, it says. Let me go here and look and see how to unblock people. I'm new to this, so that's my other excuse too. New to this. I ain't done this before. What the fuck I'm doing? Why would you listen to me anyway? Nobody listens to Zathras. All right, I don't know how to do it. I don't think I did I only did one, and it was who I believed was that person. Max calls, spinning calls. I don't see it, and it won't let me. Anyway, guys, I'll look at it for a second. Sorry. Mark is in the chat. Mark wants to are you the same person who called on the phone a minute ago, Mark? Are we going to end up repeating myself over and over again, and then you telling me that I've refused to answer? That's not you, right? Was it? Mm-hmm. Because that whole purpose of, oh shit, did I close the call? Or is the call going? No, it's still there. Continue the show. Oh yeah. Okay, my show's there. I'm looking, man. I thought I did one thing. We'll see what happens. It's Mark now. All right, so in the Bible, they often change their name. Sorry, man. I'm just being funny. Try again, Mark. I am watching, brother. I'm watching. I will see if it pops back up. Thank you, by the way, on the Darkwing Duck thing. Who's racist? Who's racist? All right, let's see if I can get this person. Damn it, it closed it immediately. I could see it for just a second, and it doesn't show me how to unblock shit. Damn it. Ooh. I know what I'm going to do, my friends. I'm going to end the show. Because usually whenever, like Faisal, the first time we met Faisal, I blocked his ass. And yet he came back later after I restarted the show, right? So maybe if I do this, it'll let that person come back. Again, so I'm sorry, people. I'm new to the whole hosting a phone. I'm not terribly keen on doing it. For those who know. Anyway, let's go here. And let's see if this time when I host a show, start, and let's see if it'll let Mark call in and ask us how we have morals.
You are connected as the host.
What began
Welcome,
the universe?
Host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Let's try it again and see what happens. I don't mean, Mark, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a jerk. It just happens naturally. There's no effort involved. Charles Oliver is here. Good morning, Charles Oliver. Thank you for joining us. ADHD. That's a cool name. I actually have ADHD and I'm off my meds for another 10 days. Damn it. So Mark, who said you were black? Did somebody? I don't know what's going on with Mark.
What?
Is that the same guy? I don't know if it's the same guy. I don't know if it's even the same guy. So we'll just see. I'm going to let you guys in the chat kind of relax, hopefully, for a minute. Let me pull up the chat while we wait for the thing. Miss Martin Elf. Miss Martin. Good morning. Says, does humanity need a perfect judge? If we look back on the actions of humanity, I would say we certainly don't have one.
Definitely do not have one.
Yeah. I don't know. It says caller. Can I click? I can't. No, there's not. That one person's not blocked. It may actually be the system having a problem with you. I don't have you blocked. Too busy. I don't know what the hell it's doing now, brothers. Oh, well, 1,000 apologies, my friends. I'm just going to see. I'm new to the program. We'll just see. And I'll just keep answering the chat. We've got new people in the chat I get to talk to. And Mark says it keeps saying call in. Right. And on my side, what I keep seeing is a name pop up or a little bar pop up. It says web. And there's a drop button. And I can click drop, but I don't have to. It just sits there. And then it goes away. Boop. Then it comes up and it goes away. I don't know why it's doing that. I'd like to hear what Mark has to say. Mark, if you'd at least put your question in the chat, maybe I could address it. And we've got Redatum, and this is Redatum. Is it Redatum?
Red Autumn?
Red Autumn. Good morning. Oh, Red Autumn. Interesting name. Good morning, Red Autumn. Thank you for joining us. Let's see, and I'll see if I can see what he says. Normal. Okay, so if anybody sees the question, it keeps saying the call is ended. Kelly Laughlin. Good morning, Kelly Laughlin. Meds and years, yeah, okay. I'm just looking to see the chat. We fellow don't like kill. Yeah, there's just lots of reasons, I think, outside of some objective creature in the sky that determines what's right and what's wrong. Now, I can actually agree. From my viewpoint, in my culture, eating your own children is morally wrong. But not in the culture of catfish, not in the culture of lions, not in the culture of a whole bunch of other different creatures out there. That there's some fish that will grow their children in their mouth, a whole bunch of them all at once for quite a while, and then when they're ready, they spit them out. And once they spit them out, they better run because Papa's hungry. And they'll sit there and eat their own young. It's like it's not a thing. They don't sit around and going, Father, help me, for I'm about to eat this meal. No, they go, them baby's tasty. I part of what I said to a friend yesterday was this: listen, writing only happened not long back. We only learned how to write in certain places not long back. And what happened was when those cultures in those areas learned to write, they wrote down what they believed, their gods and what was happening in those things. And that's what we have. The Bible and those stories are a snapshot of what humans thought and felt religiously back in the Middle East during when these things were written down. They ate their own children. They killed their own children. They sacrificed their own children to Moloch. We've talked about this several times. This is not like, so that in and of itself is an example of humans, not lions, not fish, not ducks, not whatever, eating or killing their own young. As humans doing that in culture, in history. So I don't think it's moral. My culture doesn't think it's moral. Their culture at the time thought it was moral. That makes morality subjective to the culture.
Well, I think that's the problem is they don't know the history of Yahweh. So they don't realize that he demanded child sacrifice. They don't read their Bible. If they read their Bible, it's pretty clear, but they don't. And also too, we know that Jesus is kind of just supposed to be the reimagination, the remix, the fixer-upper, the cherry on the poop cake.
Yeah. Me and my friend
try to cover that up.
Tried to cover that. My buddy and I had a conversation yesterday where we hadn't talked in a long time. He's a Christian. And back when we used to debate and have pizzas. It's debate night. We'd have pizza, debate, and we'd get high. It was a lot of fun. And I've learned some things since then. So yesterday, whenever I was talking to him, we started going over the whole Jesus wasn't sacrificed. And there's like, well, the Jews got, I'm like, no, the Jews didn't. And here's why. And then, well, the disciples, no, they didn't either. And then, and then Jesus, well, he, and of course, it all falls back to then you go, well, he's divine. And that means it's okay. It's God. That's it. And that was the thing I was telling him is that I'm often a better arguer or apologist for God than a lot of Christians are because they get backed into corners. How many animals could they hold on the thing? Oh no, I don't think they can hold them all. Where did all that gas go? I don't know. Fuck, dude, it's God. He just made it all go away. It wasn't there to begin with. They never ate. They weren't hungry. It's God, dude. He can do anything. I just don't really ever hear Christian apologists come at that. They always bow to, well, somebody's proven it scientifically has to work this way. So, if animals have to eat, they have to produce gases, they have to produce waste. What happens? God makes that shit magically go away because he's fucking God. Weren't you guys watching? Anyway, that'd be the argument. Ta-da. Really, I did appreciate the call. As far as I have to say that. For some reason, I don't know why I have to say that, but I have to say that. My conscience is here. Good morning, my conscience. You just got here. Do I have to pay anyone money yet accurately dismantling my views yet for accurately dismantling? Do I have to pay anyone money yet for accurately? That's a good question, Eddie. I don't know. I want to see that. We're going to put it on pay-per-view. Animals bear no shame. It just depends. Jesus is not the Yahweh. I think, well, kidding aside, I think seriousness, I do believe animals feel a whole range of emotions, including shame. You can see, I feel examples of dogs being shamed and feeling it. They show their emotional range. We can't just limit them. However, I don't know to the depth they understand things and how far they, sometimes I think my dog should feel shame and she's like, I should feel shame, but I got to eat that fucking thing. The other day, one of my dogs, I'll give him treats. One of them always goes outside. So I got to go outside and give him his treat. But today, rather than being right outside the door, he was in the middle of the yard. I'm like, dude, Jack, get over here. And I had my hand low and Daisy just took Jack's treat out of my hand. Like, fuck Jack. And I'm like, bad Daisy. And she knew she had done wrong, but I don't really think she kind of understood. Anyway, Jack still got his treat. Anyway. She
just saw an opportunity. They're opportunistic. They can't help themselves.
Yeah. And food's really, really a hard thing for them to, formidable faith is here. Scripture in place before you were a thought. Actually, people are a lot older than Scripture. We kind of talked about that earlier on the show. I think Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, guys. Whenever we come back, we'll do more stuff. Today's Friday. What do? We already did Holy Halos. I want to do we did the postmortem. Did we do postmortem baptismal kits? That's my favorite. What should we do? Well, let's ask the people. What do you want to do? Pale Horse is here. Good morning, Pale Horse. Thank you for joining us. Mark, the funniest is that I'm atheist, but just because we are atheists doesn't mean we don't need to justify our moral claims. That's if the atheist is making a moral claim. Is the atheist making a moral claim? Then that atheist has to justify that moral claim. Otherwise, I'm not. You're trying to box the atheist into a thing where I have to answer your question for everybody. And I answered the question about how it's subjective. I can't make it more evident as how it's subjective. I also explained how we managed to wrangle together a set of morals that we, in a way, kind of agree on, mostly, generally. Don't kill people, don't shit where you eat, But overall, those moralities are, and even the don't kill people, one of them, the highest one is subjective. Wow, oh, you mean murder someone? Or is it self-defense? And now so it's all subjective, my friends. It's all subjective. I'm going to take a break.
All's fair in war.
All's fair in love. I wish I had a dinosaurs commercial. I need to get a new commercial here. I'm going to do a thing, guys. Whenever we come back, we're going to have more fun doing stuff at the place with the people for the thing. Let's go conspire win.
Are you feeling the world is leaving you behind? Do you look at all the pseudoscience, rumors, and wild speculation on the internet and wonder, why can't I do that? Well, friend, you can. We can help you. We are ConspiraWin. ConspiraWin has a long history of helping anyone with a hidden truth. We will get your message out. The conspiracy theories you see today all started out with one person's vision. The moon landing hoax was launched by a NASA engineer whose manager didn't okay his vacation request. ConspiraWin was there to help out. Christianity started out because one little girl named Mary got pregnant out of wedlock, and ConspiraWin saved the day. Now, the virgin birth is accepted Catholic doctrine. You may be thinking, but my idea of the center of the earth being made of ice is far-fetched. No one's going to believe that. In a world where people believe windmills cause cancer, we say no dream is too big. ConspiraWin will take your fledgling idea and feed it to our YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok operatives. And these savvy social media professionals will raise doubts with the prevailing scientific consensus. They will say, no one has ever seen the planet's core except Jesus. And science is wrong all the time. That's why science has theories and not Jesus. Within 30 days, we guarantee you CNN will run a story on how your conspiracy theory isn't true. We will also give you 100% assurance Fox News will say your crazy idea about the Earth's core being an icy ball is true. Follow your heart. Listen to the voices no one else can hear. Team up with ConspiraWin.
All right, we are back. Mark is talking in the channel here about, hey, if we, let's see. If we state women can't abort, then we are imposing our will on her. And that's a point. That's not a bad point. Now, if this is what I'm going to give you an example of what I meant earlier when we were on the phone about how that statement is so broad that if I have a sign up that says she can't go over 55 miles an hour, I'm imposing my will on her. If I have a law or regulation that says she has to wear a seatbelt, I'm imposing my will upon her. You see how broad and dynamic just that as an argument is? Anything is imposed. There's so many different ways we impose our wills on other people. And to say that one way is worse than the other, I just kind of think, now see, Tay's on the phone. Tay wants to talk about subjective morality. We talked about that on the phone yesterday. And then, if we talk about objective morality, was it Tay who we talked about objective morality? Let's bring Tay up and just see what happens today.
Don't remember.
Do you remember I was talking about yesterday on the phone, that little clip where I was like, man, I don't like doing this. I dread
Hello, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Ryan.
Tay, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. It's Friday, finally.
It is Friday. We did talk about what are your feelings? Let me try a different tack here because I just need to go gently today. I'm going to gently go. What are your thoughts, Tay, on subjective morality? That's your thing.
I totally agree with you that morality, in absence of religion, morality is subjective.
Okay, now that's why I was asking you. We talked about this the other day. Even within religion, morality is subjective. If it weren't, you would all agree on the same thing. Even in Islam, when we did this, I don't want to get into an argument about it again. Even in Islam, some men feel it's okay to hurt other people justifiably before their God. That tells me that their objective morality is different than your objective morality. Therefore, it's all subjective morality, even within your own religion. So not just atheism.
I agree with you that practice would actually distort religion's objective morality and turn it into subjective morality. I agree with you that practices of religious people in all denominations, not just Islam, everywhere, would lead to making morality more subjective than objective. But what I actually want to discuss that I want to maybe get your thoughts about subjective morality. Usually are the foundation for ideology. Do you agree for that?
No. Here's my thinking. This is why I disagree with that. People. Theist, religious people, often try to use their religion, their theology, for that purpose, to instill their morality. And they call that objective morality. So Allah bears objective morality. What he calls objective, this is right, this is wrong, that's what Allah thinks. But that's subjective even within Islam. Who is the person that says this is the absolutely golden rule throughout all of Islam that everybody should follow? And why don't they follow that? I'm just using Islam as an example. We could talk about Christianity if you want. I'm not trying to beat a horse.
I don't want to talk. Really, I already agreed with you that practices of religious people with all denominations actually turns objective morality into subjective morality. And that in turn leads to having an ideology.
They turn subjective morality into objective morality. Am I understanding right? Are we on the same page?
No, we're on the opposite. I'm saying the opposite. It turns objective into subjective.
Okay.
And that would lead to ideology. That leads to ideology.
Here's what I think. You've got two different people, for example. One believes this way, and the other person believes this way. Okay, that is subjective belief. Then those two people create their individual religion. One creates Islam and one creates Christianity, for example. And then they say their way is objectively the right way, but their way started subjectively different. Does that make sense?
That would be true in the absence of a divine entity, right?
No, I'm talking about with the divine entity.
The rules, like
you're right. I'm saying that's with a divine entity. I'm giving you that credit. That's so. And as an atheist, yeah, I'm giving you that credit because because then they at that point speak for, but their morality subjectively between the two of them is different. It is different, and therefore it's not objective.
Exactly. Exactly. It turns
into
objective into subjective, leading.
Okay. I get no. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother. I get you. I think we get. I think we're. Yeah. Go ahead. I think we're trying to say the same thing, maybe in a different way. But go ahead.
A different way, maybe.
Oh man, we kind of lost him for a second.
We might have lost you, Tay, if you can hear us.
Dang. That was a fun one. I still really haven't. Maybe I should create a whole show about. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Now
you can hear me now. We can hear you. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you. Yes. Hello.
Okay. So what I'm saying is distortion of morality in general is objective or subjective, and mostly subjective, because if I think I'm right, you think you're right. We have different views, basically subjective. Then I develop an ideology, and you develop an ideology that are different from each other, right? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. So externally they're subjective to their own beliefs.
Exactly. And then we develop ideologies, and that is actually leads to conflict.
Well, see, whenever they divide, so they start with their subjective belief, and then they create their ideologies, and then they claim that their ideology is indeed now objective, and that it's the only way and it's the right way. But before that, it was different.
Correct.
But now they claim it's the only one.
But it stems from subjective morality, right?
That's what I said. Yes, we agree on that, I think. Yeah.
Correct. So I agree. We agree on that. So people develop their subjective moralities, then they think is objective morality, and that leads to ideology. And then that leads to conflict. That's why they say World War II happened, because the Germans had their ideology that they are supreme, right?
Interesting.
Or let's say the different parts of the world, people in, let's say, the West are trying to fight with China because they have different ideologies, right?
Right.
Or Russia, for example, the Soviet Union was expanding based on their own ideology, which is based on their presumed objective morality based on subjective morality, right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that subjective morality leads to chaos and conflict.
Where is
the root of conflict?
No, I kind of disagree in that where first of all, you're going to have to prove to me where anything is objective morality. If you can prove such a thing as objective morality and how it's objectively moral, we'll work from there. But until you can do that, and I'm not trying to bang on the conversation we had the other day, brother, I'm not. This is stemming from the same conversation I had earlier today, right? But until you can prove objective morality, everything is subjective. Even within the various Abrahamic religions, they all subjectively believe the same thing. Now, here's the path I was talking about. You and I are close. I think we're close. You say they have subjective morality, and then they create objective morality,
and then ideology,
and then they create ideology.
What I'm saying is,
wait, no.
For atheists, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is you kind of almost, I feel like you got it almost right. I think they have their own separate subjective morality. And then when they create the religion comes first. The ideology comes first. Then once they have the ideology, then they claim that ideology is objectively moral. That person who's realized, we know it's just subjective because we saw that it's different from somebody else's, but they now claim it's objective. But just because they do doesn't mean it is. And none of them can prove it. So.
And dogmatic,
too. Which is, I understand what you're saying. That's that awesome. It starts with, they say objective morality turns into ideology, right? Or they start with ideology, right? Which is, in your opinion, ideology and and objective morality are the same thing.
Ideology comes first. They create the ideology, and then they say that this is the only way. This is the right way. Now, this is objective. In other words, here's what I'm saying. You can't have objectively morality if you don't have a place for it to come from. So what they do is they create their God first. Then they assign objective morality what it thinks is right. So the God comes first. Then the alleged objective morality comes after that. But we never have objective morality.
Right,
if we did, then we'll use Judaism, okay? Or let's use Zeusism, whatever you call it. I don't know right off the top of my head. Let's use Zeusism. If Zeus were the real true God, then everybody would know. It would be, his book would be everywhere. It'd be right. Everybody, if his way of morality was the right way, objectively, then we would know. Everybody would agree. Even if we didn't hold to it, even if we didn't follow it, we would all go, yeah, that's objectively. That's the way, but we don't. By no measure.
Okay, I agree with that. But what we're trying to say is that subjective morality, in the absence of, for atheism, morality is subjective.
All morality is subjective. Yes. Here's the fun thing.
And then that would lead to the differences, as you mentioned, the U.S. versus Japan, or even U.S. versus Canada. I live in Canada. I think you live in the States, right? In Canada and in the U.S., it's okay to shoot and kill someone.
Tay's just being mean. He gets to live in Canada. I have to live down here. Go ahead, Tay.
Well, I was just trying to say that we are so close. Canadians and Americans are so close in their development, I guess, or social development, right? But for example, unaliving a person who intrudes in your house in parts of the U.S., not all of the U.S.,
you're right,
is okay, while in Canada is completely not acceptable.
Right. That's right.
Okay. So,
here, like here in Texas, or I was in Texas. So even in Texas, if somebody breaks into my house, they say it's okay. Then I have the moral choice. I have the moral choice to either kill that person or shoot them in the leg and call the police. Just because you can kill someone doesn't mean you do. And there's where we flex our own individual subjective morality.
Oh, I see. But we were talking about collectively development of over 100,000 years. As you said, that
carry on.
We reach to each society reach its own set of subjective morality, right?
Yeah.
But who would say that a morality is correct? Nobody, because it's all developed over 100,000 years. And the North American morality is different from Japanese morality.
Oh, he gets
it. There is no one could say which one is right or wrong.
Right. That's exactly right. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I could not have put it better myself. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Exactly. Right.
So
are you saying that's wrong?
That often led that subjective morality often led to conflict. Right.
So Tay, is your argument that we need a universal objective morality in order to alleviate this conflict that happens because we have different ideologies,
that is correct. So the way that usually, if you see outside the subjective morality argument, if you look at the religion in general, either Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, or this or that, this was able to gather billions of people under some certain umbrellas of objective morality.
Nope.
Right?
Nope. It's never objective if somebody else has a different... Yeah, I can't explain it. I don't think I can explain it. I just don't think I can. If anybody else has a different objective, a different morality, then it's not objective. It's never objective. And even within go ahead, Brian. Ryan wants to say something. She got something on her mind. No,
I was just going to say the problem is even if we all agreed and we wrote it down or do whatever, we had to bless it and we did rituals, whatever, and we were like, okay, now it's etched in stone. This is the moral law that we're all going. It really wouldn't change anything, unfortunately, because we still have people who are evil. We still have pedophiles in the office. We still have people who sympathize for the pedophiles. People who want to enslave it. Unfortunately, we have Christians killing Christians currently, Christians committing a genocide, extremists committing a genocide. It wouldn't change a thing because people are people. People are dark and evil, sinister. People are silly and stupid.
Honestly, I don't think that true Christians would kill anyone, or true Muslims would kill anyone.
I would love to say that. I would love to say that that's what the dealio is, but there's a possibility that maybe that's part of the root of the issue.
If you think about it, the manufacturers, the weapons manufacturers or arms dealers are the biggest of them are. Who's actually fueling the wars?
Right. Well, we can go way before. We can go way back. We can go before. Yeah. We don't. We can go back before that.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. I listen to your show, and I really appreciate how respectful you are, guys. And
I'm learning, man.
I know you, Chris. Sometimes you get heated up and
I'm trying.
get passionate. try not to hurt yourself, okay?
I'm learning. Yeah, I take pills for that. I want you here for this one. I want you to hear this. I have a thing I want to say. I'd like for you to stay around because of this. It's something that just kind of hit my brain. I feel like, and maybe you guys in the chat, Miss Ryan can agree or disagree with me. It feels to me like theists who call in asking about objective morality are trying to pin atheists into having an objective morality that even their own religions can't live up to. They come in here, why do some people kill and some people, why did that cut? And they hit us with that, why is morality subjective? And we give these reasons as to why it's subjective everywhere. But really, the bar these theists are asking us, so why doesn't everybody follow that rule? Well, why doesn't everybody follow that rule in your religion? Not you, Tay. I'm talking about whoever's calling. If your religion is the one that determines objective morality, why doesn't everybody follow it? Just like in our evolved society, through modern society, how we came up, we got rules, but damn, man, not everybody follows them. You know? So I guess in the religious world, they would be called sinners. In the legal world, they'd be called criminals. And what is a sin is essentially, what is a sin is subjective to who the God is. Your God, whomever, not you specifically, Tay, but your God, whomever that is, doesn't like apple juice and doesn't want you to eat apple or drink apple juice. But that God over there from the Hawaii Islands, his people love apple juice. And so it's not a sin for them to drink. And so you see how sinning can be subjective unless you pin it under that one God. Then who created that one God? Yeah, the person, whoever created that one God, is their subjective, different from the other people.
I thought just came up to my mind. Okay, maybe I share it with you guys because based on what you just said. So you're saying things are not it's subjective, right? Based on religion and this and that. So to me, as a theist, right, I believe that Adam and Eve came and this and that, and then God did not send any book until 5,000 years later.
That's
right.
Mm-hmm.
So or more, I think 7,000 or 8,000 years, not like later on when it comes to Moses, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were some book sent to Enoch, but I don't know much about that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is God gave humans time to develop their own set of subjective morality and laws.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sent religion, he sent the books to fine-tune those moralities.
That's interesting. I understand that argument. I would...
You see how I think... I never thought of that before, because why wasn't there any books or anything from the beginning? Why doesn't it have a manual to how to live in life?
Right.
I guess that came from free choice.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, part of that was that a lot of people around the world couldn't even read or write. Language, writing things down. The religions you believe in now are some of the examples of the first writings of the people in that area. Whenever they learned how to write, actually started writing down their religion. You know what I mean?
No, before that there was Hammurabi law. Hammurabi law was wrote.
They wrote that down too.
Thousands of years before.
Right. And see, just like
so that was
1600, 1800 BC.
Well, yeah, but it varies throughout. Yeah, it's going to vary throughout. We've got history long before writing, though. I say no, actually we don't. Because that's what history is. I'm sorry.
Now we have the hieroglyphics. The hieroglyphic writing is over 7,000 years ago, right?
Yeah, long before the Bible was ever written. We've got examples of these things long before the Bible was ever written.
So, and a lot of these God gave humans, God gave humans a chance to develop their own laws, like Hammurabi law or the Egyptian law, and then he sent religion to fine tune that and make sure that everybody's on the same page.
I understand that. Here's how I feel. I feel it's kind of exactly the opposite. But because, and my argument is your last sentence and make everybody on the same page, but they're not. If there were, there'd be only one religion. However, It's the exact opposite of that. Here's what happened. Because of subjective morality developing all over the world in different places, people in Japan developing their different morality, people in India developing their different, people in Afghanistan, and you know what I mean? All over the world, over 100,000 years or whatever, last 20 or 30, developing their own independent subjective morality. And then they developed their faiths based on those and their gods based on those subjective morals. And then when they come up with their gods, they started following the morals those gods set out as though they were objectively moral. So that's why all the gods are different. That's what I'm saying. Hey, hold on, Tay. That's why they're all different. That's why all the gods are different. If you're saying God gave us the books, well, if that were the case, then all the books would be the same. They would be uncorruptible. They would be the same. They would tell the same message, but they don't. They're all different. And even if you want to talk about just gods writing down, other gods had people write down their books. Are their books just as valid as yours? Those kinds of things. But Islam and Judaism and Christianity are the same, different religions from the same core religion. They can't even agree on the same thing. That's exactly what you would get if billions of people developed different subjective moralities all over the world over thousands of years. You'd get different religions all over the place. Now, Christianity alone is an excellent example. Christians absolutely do kill Christians. We had the Catholic Reformation, where Catholics killed Protestants by the millions, and you can't say they're not Christian any more than they could say you're not a Muslim.
If they're not following the Ten Commandments, if they're not following Ten Commandments, then they're not Christian. Thou shalt not kill doesn't say that thou shalt kill whoever is believing in your belief. It just says thou shalt not kill.
If I may, that's actually the Jews are the Torah, the Old Testament. The Christians are the New Testament with Jesus and all that other business. Man, I appreciate you, Tay. We've run out of time, man.
I know. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you and all of you people who called in today, and we went all over ourselves about objective and subjective, and I probably really need to read the chat and see where I went wrong. I appreciate our callers. I would be, maybe what I should do is have a show completely entitled Show Me Objective Morality.
Show me the money.
Yeah, can you do that? I notice on the other shows, like the line, they're like, hey, prove your God. Call in and prove your God. Maybe I should say, call in and show me your objective morality. I just don't believe it exists.
I mean, we'd have to get rid of capitalism. We'd have to get rid of imperialism. I mean, everything would have to change around the world if we were going to have some kind of morality.
Objective
I mean,
morality.
I guess that's just me with my subjective morality, but it's not sustainable.
The beauty of our argument is that you wouldn't have to change. See, you're saying everything around the world would have to change. Well, if there were one, nothing would have to change, and everybody's doing it right. That's not the case, because there's no such thing as objective morality. You're right. I'm saying you're right in a weird kind of way. I'm saying you're right. I think we're going to wrap it up, though. I do very much appreciate everyone stopping by. Let me read our super chats today. I don't know. Did we get any? We got some channel supporters. Kiwi Banana became a channel supporter. Musical Monkey for You upgraded to the bronze level. So thank you guys for that. I very much appreciate you. We appreciate you all. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you all sin safely. And I say some people don't understand that. So let me do that since you guys some people get kind of, as I demonstrated earlier, if some God somewhere doesn't like what you do, you're sinning, according to that God. So, a woman is outside without covering her hair, she's sinning. Ryan, go sin safely, my friend. Y'all have a great weekend. Be good.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, tone. Confession booths, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goat's the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen